The sun has risen on another day for our Iditarod racers. Many teams are headed to the next checkpoint in Ruby, but they're still a ways from making it there. But that's where we find Tyler Lane. Tyler, what are you seeing out there?
Well, hey, welcome to Ruby and day 3 of Iditarod 53. We arrived here just about 9 a.m. this morning, now eagerly awaiting those mushers that are on their way right now. Now, as of this morning, all those teams have made it out of the Manly checkpoint. Almost every single one to this point is now pushing on past Tanana. Now, based on their speed, we are expecting teams to arrive here later this afternoon, so stay tuned. More coming up from the Iditarod Trail here in Ruby. For Alaska's news source, I'm Tyler Lane.
All right, thanks, Tyler. It hasn't been smooth sailing for all the mushers. A few have mentioned problems they're facing. Today, Jeff Deeter left the Tanana checkpoint after a more than 5-hour rest and dropping 2 of his more powerful dogs, but decided to turn around. He says he's been nursing a few issues in the team, like muscle strain and joint issues.
Had two more dogs come up with some fatigue and some strain. So I decided I didn't want to haul them 120 miles to Ruby. It makes sense to turn around and come back. But they weren't a part of my equation in terms of issues that I'm dealing with in the team. So in short, the trail just is not lining up for my team and my training.
Now, the snow on the trail has been described as sugary, which Deeter says his team isn't very used to.
For me, with this race, it's important that I'm doing what's right for my team and my team overall. So not just me and a couple dogs making it down the trail, but me with this team. So I mean, it's possible this might be our finish line. I want to make sure that we go down the trail in style, and I don't want to be just making it.
Now, he says it's not ideal, but he's spending some more time in that checkpoint. At last check, he is still resting there. While in Tanana, Matt Hall talked about the trail on the way there and explained how the conditions changed his decision on how long to rest.
Overall, the trail was good. The stuff that got us was the soft, just kind of like what's even here right now, just trying to find a spot to stand steady in one spot. Just a lot of sugary punchiness out there. And that's not what our dogs are super familiar to. So I was on a schedule to go about three hours past. Coming into here, though, it was like, well, just watching especially some of the young guys on the team.
He says the rest wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but it may change his plans moving forward. Hall also talked about some blowing sand on the trail. He says it wasn't blowing too hard, but it was swirling into his eyes, and he was watching snow machine marks to figure out where the trail was.
I had one killer who I dropped here, that one 3-year-old. He was in the sled, and man, he was so asleep. He was just out for, hours to that point, and then all of a sudden we're bouncing across all that wind-blown ice, and so he decides it's time to get out of the sled and go join the team while we're in that worst part. So I'm bent over the handlebars, holding him in the sled, and then trying to look up and see so it made it exciting.
And taking a look at where the mushers are now, we have Jesse Holmes leading the pack, followed by Michelle Phillips and Mila Porsid rounding out the top 3, and many mushers not far behind them.